The news broke quietly, almost unnoticed by the wider public, overshadowed by the daily churn of headlines, but its impact was immediate and profound. Japan's legendary patrol ship, Shikishima, was officially retired from service, ending an era of vigilant maritime presence. For most Filipinos, the name Shikishima meant little, just another foreign vessel in distant waters. But for the Coast Guard, for fishermen who braved the open sea, and for military strategists watching regional tensions, it was a seismic shift, one that would reshape their sense of security. The Shikishima wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of stability and reassurance in the often turbulent waters of the West Philippine Sea. Its regular patrols sent a clear, unwavering message. These waters were to remain open, and international law would be upheld, no matter the pressure. Its presence was a silent but powerful deterrent, a source of comfort for smaller nations facing the shadow of larger, more assertive neighbors. Now, with Shikishima gone, that comfort had vanished, leaving a void that was felt immediately by those who depended on its watchful eye. The timing couldn't have been worse. The region was already on edge, with uncertainty growing by the day. Tensions were already high as Chinese vessels continued to harass Filipino supply missions and intimidate local fishermen, escalating confrontations in contested waters. The Shikishima had been more than just a Japanese asset. It was a regional shield, a symbol of international cooperation and shared security. Its absence left the Philippines feeling exposed and vulnerable, with uncertainty clouding the horizon for those who rely on the sea for their livelihood. The retirement wasn't simply a Japanese decision, it was a strategic event that sent ripples across the entire Indo-Pacific, raising questions about the future of maritime security. Manila now faced a harsher reality, where its own resilience, resourcefulness, and the strength of its alliances would be tested like never before in the face of mounting challenges. The Guardian had departed, and as the night deepened, the wolves were circling ever closer, testing the resolve of those left to defend these vital waters. The Shikishima was more than just steel and machinery. It was a symbol of order, a floating embodiment of Japan's resolve to uphold peace and stability in turbulent waters. Its very presence on the horizon was a reassurance, a silent promise that chaos would not go unchecked. Launched in the 1990s, the Shikishima was not only the world's largest and most advanced Coast Guard ship of its time, but also a technological marvel. It stood as a floating statement of Japan's unwavering commitment to maritime law and international cooperation, setting a new standard for Coast Guard vessels everywhere. Its regular patrols projected the powerful idea that the sea was governed by rules, not by brute force or intimidation. The Shikishima's presence was a daily reminder that order could prevail, even in contested waters. For the Philippines, the Shikishima became a beacon of hope for a rules-based order, inspiring confidence that international law could be upheld in the face of growing uncertainty. Its sheer size alone was enough to deter would-be aggressors. Its imposing silhouette on the water stabilized the region, discouraging escalation and conflict. The ship rarely needed to confront directly. Its formidable reputation often did the work before any action was necessary, maintaining peace through presence rather than force. For Filipino sailors, the Shikishima was more than a ship. It was a benchmark of professionalism, a model to aspire to, and a reminder that Japan shared their commitment to UNCLOS and the principles of international law. Japan's deliberate choice to build a powerful Coast Guard vessel, rather than an aircraft carrier, spoke volumes about its intentions. It was a clear message. Japan sought to protect, not to dominate. The Shikishima was a guardian of the shared maritime space, a protector of peace, not a tool of domination or intimidation. Its retirement felt like more than the end of a ship's service. It was as if a flag of international law and order was being lowered, leaving a void in its wake. The psychological vacuum it left behind was real and deeply felt by those who had come to rely on its presence. Filipino sailors who once saw the Shikishima on the horizon now faced a sea increasingly dominated by different, more menacing symbols, ships that did not share the same commitment to order. The era of quiet assurance was over. In its place, a new era of open challenge and uncertainty had begun, testing the resolve of those who still believed in the rule of law at sea. The void left by the Shikishima was quickly filled by the massive ships of the China Coast Guard. China's new vessels, some over 12,000 tons, were built for intimidation, not rescue. These behemoths patrolled with an air of ownership, enforcing Beijing's claims with impunity. Their sheer size was a weapon, turning routine patrols into high-stakes encounters for Filipino sailors. Aggressive tactics, water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, and the cabbage strategy of encirclement became the norm. The psychological impact was immense. Filipino crews were constantly outmatched and outnumbered. The retirement of the Shikishima made this imbalance even starker. The balance of power had shifted, and the Philippines now faced a new era of maritime bullying. Courage became their primary shield. After the Shikishima's retirement, the change in the West Philippine Sea was immediate and tangible. Filipino fishermen, once able to work in relative safety, now faced relentless harassment from Chinese ships. Stories of being chased, blocked, and blinded by searchlights became common. The economic toll was swift. Families faced mounting debts as catches dwindled. The absence of a symbolic counterweight like the Shikishima emboldened Chinese vessels. For the Philippine Coast Guard, every mission became riskier, every confrontation more perilous. The use of water cannons and aggressive tactics escalated. The established order was eroding, and the Philippines was being isolated in its own waters. The challenge was now immediate and physical, faced daily by brave men and women defending their nation's sovereignty. The aggression in the West Philippine Sea was more than geopolitics. It was a direct assault on Philippine sovereignty and livelihoods. Filipino fishermen were barred from their own waters, their dignity and rights eroded. The economic impact rippled from coastal villages to the national economy, with vital energy projects stalled by Chinese pressure. Resource denial became a form of economic strangulation. On a human level, fear and anxiety replaced security. Coast Guard and Navy crews faced constant stress, upholding the law against a lawless aggressor. The issue became personal for every Filipino, a fight for the nation's soul. The West Philippine Sea struggle was no longer distant, it was a daily reality. The Shikishima's retirement was part of Japan's ambitious fleet modernization. The ship was aging, and Japan needed more advanced vessels to counter China's growing maritime power. New patrol ships with superior technology were on the way, but their arrival created a temporary strategic gap. China seized this window to intensify pressure on the Philippines. The increased aggression at Ayungin and Scarborough Shoal was no coincidence. For Manila, the lesson was clear. Security couldn't depend on a single allied ship. The gap underscored the need for self-reliance and stronger alliances. Japan's long-term commitment was certain, but the transition forced the Philippines to accelerate its own modernization. The risk Japan took became a wake-up call for Manila. The Philippines had to make its own strategic calculations. China's strategy in the West Philippine Sea is a masterclass in gray zone tactics, aggressive, but below the threshold of war. The retirement of the Shikishima emboldened China to intensify harassment, using massive Coast Guard ships and maritime militia. Daily, Filipino vessels faced water cannons, lasers, and dangerous blockades. The cabbage strategy, wrapping contested areas in layers of ships, slowly suffocated Philippine access. Each unchallenged act set a new, more aggressive baseline. For the Philippines, military escalation wasn't an option. The challenge was to assert rights, expose aggression, and avoid conflict. This was the daily battle for control, fought with restraint, courage, and determination. The struggle was relentless, the stakes existential. Every day the Philippines fought to hold its ground. The Philippines responded to unprecedented pressure with resilience and creativity. Under President Marcos Jr., Manila shifted to assertive transparency, embedding journalists on patrols and exposing Chinese harassment to the world. High-quality videos and images changed the narrative, generating global support. Information became a weapon, countering China's propaganda. The Philippines also reinvigorated alliances, strengthening ties with the US and forging new agreements with Japan, Australia, and others. Joint patrols and defense cooperation sent a clear message of collective resolve. At home, Manila accelerated military and Coast Guard modernization, acquiring new vessels and equipment. Japan played a key role, providing large multi-role response vessels. The Filipino response was multi-pronged: expose the bully, rally allies, and build strength. The nation refused to be cowed, choosing to fight back with unity and innovation. The world took notice. And the Philippines found new confidence. The strategy was working. Resilience was winning ground. The retirement of the Shikishima, once a source of deep anxiety and uncertainty, became a powerful catalyst for a renewed Philippine resolve. What was once seen as a loss soon transformed into a rallying point for the nation. The era of relying on foreign vessels and outside protection ended. In its place, a new era of self-reliance and national pride began to take root. Filipino sailors and officers stepped forward, ready to shoulder the responsibility of defending their homeland. The ongoing struggle in the West Philippine Sea united the nation like never before, fueling widespread public support for a stronger, more capable defense. Across cities and islands, Filipinos rallied behind their navy, demanding a future where their sovereignty would be protected by their own hands. Filipino sailors now patrol the nation's waters with the unwavering backing of millions of citizens, their courage amplified by the hopes and prayers of an entire country. Japan and the United States remain vital partners, providing crucial support, training, and deterrence. Their presence reassures the Philippines, but the nation's resolve is now firmly its own. The future lies in integrated deterrence, combining the growing strength of the Philippine forces with the power and expertise of trusted allies. Together, they form a united front against any threat. The Shikishima's legacy is not a void to be filled, but a standard that inspired a nation to act. Its memory lives on in every patrol, every mission, and every act of courage at sea. The Philippines is now charting its own course, determined to defend its seas and secure its future. Each new day brings renewed commitment to protect the nation's maritime heritage. The challenges ahead remain immense, with powerful adversaries and uncertain waters. But the nation is no longer waiting for a distant guardian to intervene. The Philippines stands ready, with courage, unity, and an unbreakable spirit, to face whatever the future may hold. The West Philippine Sea remains fiercely contested, but the Philippines is now its own primary defender, vigilant, steadfast, and determined to protect what is rightfully theirs. A new dawn of resolve has arrived, lighting the way for a stronger, more independent Philippines.